Okay, so this song. Hello, I'm Luís Martinho. I'm a partner at Hive Solutions, and we're a software as a service research and development company. So we're really a lot about technology. Today I'm going to talk to you a bit about the current challenges cloud computing providers face and how our open source technology really mitigates those risks, and then how we created a product on top of that technology. So Hive Solutions started as a project from two former Microsoft engineers, which came from Microsoft Development Center in Copenhagen, and they came to Portugal to create a startup company focusing on cloud computing and focusing on what were the main challenges, and still are the main challenges that cloud computing providers face. And so the top concern typically for CIOs is vendor lock-in. So we're talking about closed clouds, and we're talking about the problem with moving information, and especially moving applications from one cloud to another. So when you make a decision towards cloud computing provider, you end up getting stuck with that provider. Another issue was integration with legacy systems. So corporations right now have typically a really wide array of enterprise systems, and they don't want to give up some of the information systems they have, and most cloud computing and software service providers don't really care about integrating with fast systems. Another issue is obviously customization, because corporations today have typically very customized solutions for their own business, while software as a service typically delivers a one-size-fits-all kind of solution. So there's really no room for customization, and that's another issue they try to tackle. So another issue is obviously hybrid clouds. And by hybrid clouds, I mean connecting private clouds, on-premises, and public clouds managed by the vendor. In the end, there's also questions of availability. And don't get me wrong here, because availability for cloud computing providers is typically very high, but when you have to update, when you have a new version, typically there's always downtime involved, and that's another issue that the technology addresses. And so they began a research phase, and they did about 6 months of pure research and prototyping, just playing around with technology, evaluating existing solutions in the market, and trying to understand really how could they mitigate those risks I mentioned. And so then came incorporation, and Hive Solutions was founded in September 2008, and they attracted other people, namely me, which I have more of a consulting background. And when I saw the kind of solution they had, I really understood how could that have an impact in the market on the long run. So after roughly 2 years, we've been able to produce around 300,000 lines of code, roughly equivalent to 70 person-years, and that amounts to around 400 software components, as we'll see in more detail forward. So going forward, the technology is called a framework. It's an open source technology, and it really tried to address the issue of modularity. Modularity being the property of software not being monolithic in a sense that you have only one software component, but in a sense that you have many components that interact with one another, and the possibility for reusage. And so these goals really have an impact on the cost of delivering software and the cost of developing software. We also wanted it to be fun to develop, and we wanted to be a truly open platform, open in terms of source code, open in terms of open standards, and open in terms of being community-driven, not having to keep up with specific client demands, but rather having really a research kind of perspective to the R&D phase. And so it's actually more of a specification than just an implementation. And I really don't want to bore you with all the technical details, but there are some key aspects of the technology that really are determining for the business model. And one of those issues is the runtime plugin model, in a sense that you can keep your applications running even when you have upgrades without causing any kind of downtime. You just load and unload software components. And we have been very careful designing our distributed model, in a sense that distribution is really a determining component for the success of cloud computing providers these days, because your productivity and your profitability depends on how easily you distribute and how easily you scale. So To give you just a high-level perspective of how the technology works, you might want to think of this component here, the core, as more of a maestro, just coordinates the work of the other components. You'll have components such as this example, in which you have a CRM plugin, which can be extended by additional plugins. And so the point to keep in mind here is that you're extending rather than changing. That makes managing software lifecycle a lot cheaper. And so we've obviously developed a lot of software components ranging from protocols related to having an internet infrastructure, having problems regarding discovery, distribution, and all the standard enterprise stack software. So our distribution model is really meant to be easily scalable in the sense that you can easily connect a new node and have it processing almost immediately. And it's also possible to federate different computational grids, making it possible to manage that hybrid cloud solution I mentioned in the beginning. And so we can easily scale out rather than scaling up. We can have a simple development model in which developing for the cloud is as simple as developing a regular computer for a regular computer, and also you don't have any technology commitment, since you can have it can work in a variety of technologies and still have them integrated together and perform computation. So this was a really high-level explanation of how technology works, but there are obvious use cases for this technology, and we've been working with partners right now to further extend the application areas. So you can obviously think of the modular ERP delivered as a service. You can think about technical computing. You can think about web consumer products that can benefit from a modular approach. And you can think about everything from e-government to energy management. So just to give you an idea of what the products we offer on top of this technology, we have the Omni platform, which is really a one-stop shop for all your enterprise needs in terms of software. This means you can have access to a scalable and maintainable infrastructure that makes it easy to deploy software, but it also makes it easy, and that's something that really sets it apart, that makes it easier to customize for your specific business. And so how do we position against the current competition? So I'll say we're pretty much down the middle. So in one side you have pure software as a service providers like Salesforce, Zoho, and Google Apps, which give you the ability to customize but only do small modifications to the product. On the other hand, you have pure platform as a service or cloud computing providers, which gives you not much more than a configurated machine and a working operating system. What we do is we give you the opportunity to leverage existing software in a sense that you're not starting from scratch, but we also give you the freedom to work as in a traditional cloud computing provider. And so the life cycle, you can think of it as kind of the Apple app, the Apple's App Store. So a developer creates and deploys a new component to the store, and then a CIO can easily subscribe it and start using it, deploy to its whole user base. So how do we make money from this? It's essentially freemium-based. You get free services for technology enthusiasts, but you pay for corporate users which need more storage, more power, additional security, etc. We also charge, obviously, for our component sales, and we'll charge a percentage for all the third-party plugin sales. Where are we right now? Just to give you an idea, we have those 300,000 lines of code in production, supporting the business of a partner, but we're really only started now looking for partners in the market that are interested in, say, help us market the Omni platform, develop new plugins using our technology, partners wanting consulting done with our technology, and also people wanting some kind of advisory on the kind of issues we've been through. We're also talking very intensely with the scientific community to see if there's opportunities for scientific deployments, and we're also open for hobbyist usage. So I believe we've been from a paradigm of initially bespoke software, where everybody did their own software, and then we went to the package approach, where you bought off-the-shelf packages, and now we're entering really the cloud computing say, revolution, but there are still obstacles ahead. And I really believe that the work we've done at Hive Solutions and the products we offer right now really has the possibility to take to the next level of the cloud and to really deliver on the promise of cloud computing.